Welcome back, my friends. Let me get this music playing here. There we go. I knew I was forgetting something. So, we had our PC have a BSOD last stream. That was quite fun. I'm like hanging out, fishing, and it's just like, Windows has encountered an error and it'll shut down. And I'm like, oh, hey, yo, BSOD. So, took the PC apart, cleaned it, cleaned the radios out of the grill, cleaned the CPU, and what else did I do? Oh, reinstalled ESO. Between the two, we're averaging way better temperatures and usage. So it's weird because not only was it using more CPU, I guess due to something in ESO, but also it was dirty, so it was using more heat, or gaining more heat as well from the use. So it was suboptimal, right? We got the BSOD and that sucked. But we took care of that and now we're back. But my friends, how's everyone doing today? Hopefully everyone's doing good. I'm getting this set up. Luckily I already have everything running in the background because I didn't want to have to, you know, start the stream and find out it wasn't going to work, so I basically pre-tested today, which is good. Don't always have time to do that, you know. Kind of unfortunate. Let me see here. There we go. Yeah, sometimes you gotta be like, it's good enough. I regret it coming to that sometimes, but you know, it happens. Well, let me see here. So when we last left off, we were sitting here outside of a river looking at fishing, but since it's nighttime, I'm gonna take myself over somewhere to go fishing. Special, absolutely special. So near the coast of the Morkel Way Shrine, there's an angler fisherman. He's like, or an angler, I guess would be just what they're called in general. And he's like, hey, yo, there's these like rare fish. And you'd be like, oh, really? And then once you talk to him, you can go fish off the waters over here and you might catch it. This is our guy right here, actually.
Daggerfall welcomes you near far to Damien's
I was like,
Adventure.
something's missing here. And yeah, there we go. Now let's see if it's too loud.
Are you talking about the fish, or do you mean my husband?
Oh, I was supposed to say catch anything interesting, but I hit the button by accident. I was asking about the fish.
I saw a mud crab grasp a crane by the neck. The crane soared into the sky. The mud crab spun around its neck like a loose bangle, which made the crane twist and swoop through the air.
Yeah? What happened then?
The mud crab finally had enough. It did what every mud crab does. It pinched as hard as it could. Pop went the crane's head. Squirt went the blood from the crane's neck. Tumble went the mud crab.
That sounds terrible.
Just as the crane body, mud crab, and decapitated crane head were about to hit the water, the biggest slaughterfish I ever saw leaped out and swallowed them whole. Whoosh, gulp, swoosh. Gone in an instant. I laughed so hard I dropped my pole.
How big was that slaughterfish?
Very big.
Holy shit.
I remember thinking, who taught an achater to swim?
Holy shit.
One day, I'll catch that fish and turn it into crab slaughter crane stew. It'll be delicious. Too bad I'll have to share it with my idiot husband.
How could someone catch that fish?
I saw it when the sun was setting, so I'd say you'd want to fish for it at night. And with a fish that big, you'd want a couple friends helping out. How else would you manage to reel it in?
Okay, mention your husband. Who's that?
Chief Glurot.
Ah.
Have you met him? When Glurot decided to take over as chief of the clan, he saw me fishing and proclaimed that he needed a fish wife. And no jokes, I made them already.
That's pretty good. The fish wife. Okay, so we need to go here and pick our bait. Our bait is going to be chubs. We have 145 chances to catch it. Now the reason why I'm basically breaking protocol and coming out here is because this rare fish might take us 5 minutes and might take us 5 days. So anytime it gets to be nighttime, I'm gonna come out here and fish here. That's our one caveat for today's stream. The rest of it's just gonna be a normal, you know, fishing stream. If I get done with this fast enough, I might consider playing something else today, or I might save it for tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. So there was a huge patch in shit, what's it called? In the Thinget, BattleBit. Hold on a second. There we go. And turn the music and well, the game down just a little. So here's the thing. BattleBit Remastered had a huge patch. I mean huge. And there's how do I put this? There's a new map, right? But then there's also tons of new maps on the technicality. So there's the old variants of maps that were less balanced. Oops, I knew there was something happening. I heard my phone was turning loud, but basically the thing is there was a bunch of things added to the game as far as like the older maps before they patched things and this and that, older variants of maps that didn't necessarily have anything wrong, but they were just designed differently. They've all been added in as a possible thing that you can put in the rotation. And just, you know, just all sort of stuff. You can have a server that only has night maps, a server that only has day maps, a server that only randomizes the map. And here's the catch about the map vote system, okay? To encourage people to vote in the map system, those who don't vote get defaulted to random. And if the amount of people who don't vote versus the amount of people who do vote, or the people who select at random, right, is higher than the ones that do, it basically rolls a dice to see if it's going to be random or if it's going to be the one that was selected by everybody. Which is kind of cool because it throws a variable in there. And it basically means that, you know, like if people are screaming for a certain type of map, if nobody votes, even if it's against the map that people want, then it will wreck it for both parties, which is kind of cool. Or it can, not always. It sounds inefficient and crappy, but it's actually quite fun to play. They've changed the hit marker back to what they call the quote-unquote original setup. I don't know anything about the backstory to be able to tell you one way or the other if it's the original setup or not. But I know I like the diagonal crosshair and the hit sounds. Also, there's player servers now, which are still credited, right? Like you still get all your credit towards leveling up. But some of these servers are running at 240 Hz, which basically makes it so that it feels like you're playing it single player without anybody or any internet attached to it. For those who have played a lot of big online games, you'll probably understand what I mean. Like single player responsiveness versus a game that has the multiplayer stuff bolted onto it, because all the background stuff, the CPU and the server communication and the hertz time on the server, or you know, tick rate, all that shit combined usually slows down and adds extra lag into your input no matter what you do. Even if you have like a not possible 0 millisecond lag local, you would still have lag that could be added by the server's capability to produce all the data and send it back out. So it honestly doesn't even feel like that. It felt pretty good. Hey, we got a black scabbard fish, nice. It honestly felt pretty good. I was playing it last night and I was like, yeah, my PC was still melting down playing BattleNet of all things, but it's quite nice. But today we're sitting almost 20 degrees Celsius cooler than yesterday, and on my CPU, which is quite nice. And it's just an all-around better vibe. Another black scabbard fish. And even though the person says you would need a couple of people to haul it up, it just means that you need food or a bonus. But you gotta be really careful with your bonuses because you can overdo the bonus. Like if you personally have a ton of people on you fishing, getting next to people, usually you're a benefit, but occasionally you'll get so high that you'll be above the max modifier. And if you go above the max modifier, which is anywhere from like 25 to 35% or something like that, it'll just blank out all the fish that you loot. So you'll just be looting empty loot boxes. Or empty, like, you know what I mean, when the loot box pops up? Like that. Instead of it saying long fin, it'll just be blank. Just as well though, you're going to want at least food or something to make it easier to catch these fish. Looks like sunup's gonna happen soon. I'm about to be asking people in the the guild what the time is in game. Damn it, he went to reel in his fishing pole and it made me pull it. I'm starting to hear birds. It's that 4 AM vibe. I wish there was a way to find out.
I heard what you did for our village.
I did. I saved their village, and I saved their chief. Helped take down the person. Also got them food so that they wouldn't, you know, starve during the winter months. thought I selected a guy, so I double clicked the thing. I was like, "Err." I'm like asking questions about fissions and see how it's changed over the years. Okay, so it has to be caught off the coast here. Let's see, chat. Will we get the fish? like we're just going and going. We're gonna try to catch that elusive fish. Anytime nighttime falls, I feel like we'll probably have maybe one more chance to catch it before we finish the rest of the achievement. Oh, I could be wrong. Maybe this will take a lot longer to fish out the rest of the zones. Because I know we're on river. We're here at saltwater fishing just a little bit. The sun's about to peak up, and then it's going to be too late to fish. But basically, this rare fish has to be caught in one of the little fishing holes around this fisherman, and it has to basically be from sunset to nighttime. So it's about to be too late to catch it any minute now. I'm gonna give it a couple more casts, and then I think when this fishing hole ends, I'm not gonna go to the next one. I'm just gonna run back to the rivers. But yeah, but so far today, chat, I mean, the game has been running pretty smooth. I don't know how it looks on y'all's end. Hey, hairy coffin fish. So we actually got 2 of the saltwater fish that we needed while doing this other achievement. But yeah, the game's running pretty smooth today compared to before. I'm actually quite okay with the results so far. We'll see. Anything else that I could do to fix this would require me to basically, reseat the CPU, which is what I'm hoping I don't have to do, because I mean, I am going to replace this setup in a couple of months more than like, so I don't want to have to go through a full rebuild on the old system just to get rid of it in a couple of months. That my computer is like 9 years old now, so I think about how careful I need to be with the parts. About 9.5 years, I guess. So 2014, 2015 was the parts list that I bought from, which means they were probably manufactured about 6 months to a year before, in reality. So we're talking about parts that were probably manufactured sometime in 2014 early. Well, alright. Back to river fishing. We did not get the rare fish, but that's okay. But getting it to drop, they say, could take a lot of time. And that is the cutest. I want this chubloon penguin thing. I don't know, am I frightening it? Because it's just running and running. I'm probably scaring it. I'm probably traumatizing it. But you know what? They look cool. What is this? This is another little brown bird. A rat? Oh, it's a rabbit. Okay. That's cool, though. Walk off Laneway Shrine. Yes. River fishing, yeah? You can fish in the instance, too. Down near, at this delt. And that's cool. When it comes to fowl fishing, I really truly believe we're going to be there. But as far as, like, river fishing, I got you right here. You know what I mean? Whoa, okay. There's an invisible wall there that you can, or ledge that you can ride on. That was pretty fancy. I was literally just hovering in the air. Air horse. So as a result of my BSOD last night, I wasn't able to save any of my presets from fishing, which is kind of a bummer. Basically, I had kind of got the volume settings figured out, and the music's, loudness figured out, the mic figured out, all that good shit. And then, BSOD, and I'm like, oh, fantastic. But I figured out what caused the BSOD. Oh no, I'm gonna die. That was the last time they ever saw them. So, what caused the BSOD last night ended up being a runaway memory leak with Microsoft Edge and YouTube. I could be on other tabs and it wouldn't be very bad, but if I was on YouTube, it would grow to the point where it was taking like 8 to 12 gigs out of 16 gigs of memory. Like it would just creep from like 800 megs all the way up to that. It would take like 10, 15, 20 minutes to an hour, something like that, depending on the situation. But when I was streaming, it was slowly building up in the background and just kept getting more and more stuttery, and the next thing you know, it was just BSOD. And I was like, so pissed. I think is the best way to put it. And I'm like, okay, let's see what happened. I'm gonna do a repair on ESO, and ESO is like, let's reinstall most of the game, and I'm like, oh hell no. So that's when I wrote y'all on the community post yesterday. I was like, yo, oh my god, like I'll see y'all tomorrow. You know what I mean? And then that's when I basically just took the rest of the night, chillaxed, and then set out this morning, tearing things apart and rebuilding them. You know, I'm getting God. Okay, they disappeared. Yeah, the second friend of mine is right. Thermal paste can wear out and need to be replaced, and the one that I had was one of those super nice. So I don't know if y'all remember, like 8 to 10 years ago, when everybody was like, "Yo, check out this like Quicksilver, whatever, cooler master grade shit," you know, like all those cool thermal paste and shit. So I've got like one of those that are like really nice. And every couple of years, you know, I'll pull it off and repaste it. But I repasted it like 6 months to a year ago now, so I don't want to have to do it again at this point. What really sucks is that I don't really have a good cooling. I mean, I have a good cooling system by placing a huge ass house fan and blasting it inside of my computer, which is really not the best way to cool your computer. But it works really well though. But the thing is you know, I had one of the stock fans that you get with the CPU that are pretty much worthless before, and the plastic peg had at one point come loose. So when I went to go reapply my thermal paste for the first time, oh, I got a Tomb Weaver, nice. Is it one of the ones that which ones do we need for quick on? But yeah, when I went to reapply my paste and I went to undo the heatsink, I discovered, much to my horror, that 2 of the pegs weren't sealed, they weren't secured. So literally half the thing just wanted to peel off. So I guess it wasn't even touching the CPU fully at that point. It was like, Jesus, how did this happen? But yeah, that's why you should never trust the default fans that come with the CPU. Or radiators or whatever. So we need a Chinlea is the name of the fish that we need now. I believe it's a blue fish, but we all know how this is going to work out. We're going to be here for a bit. Yeah, Arctic Silver is the one that I use. It's one of those brand, like, it was one of the ones that where it cost pretty much 3 times the cost of normal thermal paste. But I'm looking into liquid cooling this time. I'm just, how do I put this? I'm so freaking sketched about doing it myself because I've never messed with one, and I don't trust myself around the hoses, and I don't know how to. I mean, you can give me a video on it to watch, right? But it just won't. It's not the same as in doing it yourself in a demonstration, right? Like in like a lab or class environment, where somebody's like, "Here's a computer, let's hook it up and see how this is going to mess up," you know, that kind of thing. That to me should translate through YouTube, watching self-help videos, but it doesn't. Not against my anxieties. I could watch 100 episodes on it, but it's not the exact piece that I have, and the exact tower that I have, and the exact way it's got to go in there. I mean, there might be a video on that, but not always. Stuff like that gives me such bad anxieties. I can do anything else on a computer. Hell, I can even change out the CPU, but I do not want to mess with the radiator on the CPU as much as I want to do anything else on the computer. But I did have two interesting things happen in my time with computers. We had a 12-volt rail go bad during like a solar flare, not a solar flare, but you know what I mean, like the days when like you're gonna have like elevated problems of having errors and your electronics be nasties. So we had like, I think it was like the worst event in 4 or 5 years at the time, as far as like geomagnetic or something. I don't know what the scientific term is for all that stuff, but it was one of those, like, it wasn't a big deal and most people didn't even notice it, but it was bad enough that during that time, I think they also had like some other stuff happen, like a world record was only possible because the solar flare had flipped a bit during the run or some shit, like something stupidly crazy like that. All sorts of silly stuff like that. But well, not the solar flare, but like, you know, the stuff that comes here from it. But yeah, I had my 12-volt rail catch fire. It was crazy sauce. It melted my motherboard. Not recently, this was like over a decade ago now. But then, I want to say about a few weeks ago, we had another, like, huge event, and I'm up in the Pacific Northwest now, right? And it was going to be like Aurora producing and all that stuff. Radio equipment getting messed up. Anyway, so during that time, my last camera decided to burn out. And I was like, this sucks. But yeah, let's see here, chat. Where are we going now? Looks like another thing this way? Nope. Gonna be further down the river. I am so excited that I can actually do this and not melt my computer anymore. Feels good, man. I know what you're thinking. Does this mean they're gonna play Halo? And the answer is, I hope I don't have to reinstall that and find out I can't, because that would suck. I'm gonna have to collect that. Alright, let's see here. My music is mysteriously absent. There it goes. I was about to say, I was like, where is my music? Alright. Man, these Olipop sodas are really good. Don't recommend drinking a bunch of them because they're for like probiotic or prebiotic, whatever. But yeah, prebiotic. But they're good, man. I've got a strawberry vanilla one right now. It's like, come on, fish it. Come on, fish. So in case you're wondering, the thing is we need to catch one bluefish here, and then we can move on to the next area, and we can catch a bluefish elsewhere, and move on to the next area, and so on and so forth. In theory, the bluefish are the hardest to catch, and the green ones are the easier to catch. But they are extremely disproportionate in their drop rates. So like, you'll get a lot of green fish, or at least it feels like you'll get a lot of green fish out here, and then they'll be like, okay, here's all these other fish, and they'll be like, all right, they'll be like furniture fish, right? But you won't get any bluefish that you need. And then sometimes it's 100 casts, sometimes it's 500 or 600 casts. It'll drop finally, and you'll be like, why did this take so long? Things like that happen a lot. But I'm interested in seeing if Orsinium fishing is going to be a multi-stream event or if it's going to be a single stream event. But I still have about 30 minutes of fishing before I will begin to say that this is taking longer than it should. Because sometimes I'll catch the bluefish in 30 minutes time or less. Sometimes it'll be like 40-45 minutes less. But as it stands right now, we've been fishing for about 30 minutes and it hasn't dropped yet, but that's not unheard of because that would be like the bare minimum time almost I've gotten it to drop, unless it just all dropped out of one fishing hole, which happens. Welcome, welcome my friends. Definitely let me know if anything's too loud or if my voice is too low today or anything like that, or loud. My BSOD yesterday kind of reset back my settings by like a week, and I'm like, oh hell. I don't know, I think it sounds pretty good right now. But I know here soon I'm gonna try to do some stuff to upgrade the channel a little bit, you know what I mean? It's always good to constantly be seeking improvement in what you do. Of course, I'm sitting here fishing, but the whole idea is to basically fish and either chat about random stuff or the game or the news. Not world news, but like, you know, gaming news, like the thing with Blizzard. Like I hear Chris Medson's back, but Medson's been back for a minute, kinda. Still not going back to WoW though. Oh. That decade of my life is come and gone. There were some good times here though. It's definitely not my culture anymore, but there was a time in WoW and it was actually like the to die for game to be at. Like that wasn't hyperbole, the way that people talk about it. Yeah, it really was like the shit like that, but then like it just changed. It's not anymore. Holy shit, we got a leniency edict. That's good. That's real good. We're gonna be eating well now. I can literally like walk up and stab someone in front of the king and then be like, yo, here's my leniency edict, and walk away. I wouldn't do that because I'm not part of the Dark Brotherhood, but the point is they're really come in handy for stuff like that. Oh shit. No. Oh my god. That went so bad. There was an invisible wedge. I didn't know. It's not my fault. I was gonna nail that wedge, and then it just goes boom. And I'm like, oh shit. I was up there. Oh well. Back to fishing. Let me see here. Where are my fishing spots? I need some fishing holes. It's depressing because I'm looking around and I'm seeing no fishing holes and I'm hearing the wind sound. It's like, and I'm like, could it be any more dramatic that there's nothing here? Where in the living hell is my next fishing spot? I could, you know what I should do? I should consult the trusty fishing map that I have. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do that. Let me tab out of here right quick and I'll show you what I mean, chat. Also, what is up with my eye winking thing today? Oh, I know what it is. I fixed it, but then I knocked my camera over when I was putting my tower back in. So give me a second. Alright, let's see if that fixed it. Nope. Damn. Alright, screw it. We're rolling with it, chat. Here we go. What we're gonna do now... Wait, no. That was pretty funny. Anytime that I had like a straight face, it just made me frown. Let's see here. Here we go. So we take image 3, change it over. Here we go. So this one is from fishingintamriel.com. They recommend giving your site a check. Usually I'm repping House Terratia because they had a lot of good maps, but this is Fishing in Tamriel is the name of this website. The reason why I'm going with this map today is because it shows where the delve fishing spots are. House Terratia does not on their map, so it doesn't serve me as well. Although they do make a nice map, it's not the map for me. Let me see here. So here's the deal. We're looking for river fishing, and I can take these all the way down and go find the river fishing spots there. But if we hit the coast, right, we can go over here and run this area, which is where I'm wanting to head now, up to the north. Sorry, y'all can't see my cursor right now, more than likely. Sorry about that. Okay, so now everyone knows what we're doing. We're going to now go fish, basically. Basically, we need to take this branch of the river up to the north. It can be hard to see sometimes, so I kind of put the camera along the water so I can see the pitter-patter of the water. That's usually how you know there's one. Like right now, you can see it. You may not be able to see it at home. Way off in the distance, I can see the water. You'll see it come on into view here. There it is. This thing looks so sad. It's like Pumbaa. Like, what's up, Pumbaa? He'll be like, "Beans, no worries." Okay, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna get DMCA'd. But you get the idea. So let's go fishing. Today we're using shad bait. Hanging out with Pumbaa here. great. Love it. Alright, so... Got the river fish, right? Or the river betty. But not what we actually need. What we need, again, honestly couldn't tell you what the blue fish is in the river water, but once we catch it, we can literally go on to just about anything else in fishing. What I'm starting to think happened was, okay, I think I have a theory, okay, and I don't know if it's true, but it seems like this is a good theory to have, right? So hear me out. I feel like starting with the DLC zones like the Gold Coast, Hughes Bane, like and so on, maybe like Orsinium, and I haven't played the others yet, but I would assume that this kind of carries on, right? I think the reason why it's so much harder to catch these fish, and this is why I've been trying to wrap my head around this, like why is it so much harder to catch these fish? And I think the reason why is because they added in a companion and a skill trait and there's food. All these things didn't come at once, they were added in piece by piece by piece. But I feel like they have adjusted the fishing outside of the original game to reflect the fact that everyone has badass gear and probably has all that stuff unlocked. So if you have all that stuff unlocked and you're fishing by yourself, you will probably have great results in these zones and not really suffer that much. But it's interesting to think about. Just because of the fact that, like, you know, like, how many fish is it going to take because it's just me with the food? I don't have the companion or the skill for it. Now, if I had the skill for it, that's great. But then there's this whole other dilemma that can occur, which is if your bonus is if you and whoever you're standing next to's bonus is higher than cap, that whatever the cap for the bonus is for chance of catching rare fish, it will lock out your loot. So you'll end up with just an empty loot box whenever you fish and you reel it in. It'll just be an empty box. Y'all probably seen it happen once or twice during my last stream. When I was fishing with someone else who had max buffs and everything else, and yeah. But that happens as well. That's kind of complicated and complex because no one's going to want to drop the food buff. Maybe they'll get rid of the companion. But if it's a skill buff, they won't be able to drop that because they have to redo their skills. And I don't mean skills as in like your skills, it's I forget what they call it. It's the champion skill thing. Where you've got all the constellation and you're feeling like hundreds of points into it. That kind of thing. Come on, fishy. So what are some other fishing games that, I mean, I don't mean like actual, like, fishing games, because those are going to be a whole other ball game. But what are some other, like, MMOs, RPGs, adventure games, just shit like that, that might have, like, a fishing thing bolted into it, you know? Kind of like this. What are some games that have come out in like the last few years that have fishing like this? That's what I want to know. I haven't looked any of it up. And I can't look any of it up, unfortunately, because if I do, it takes me away from the fishing pole. But basically, I'm interested. I know there's fishing games in, what, Fallout? One of the Fallouts, and Skyrim. If I remember correctly, they there was something about Fallout and Skyrim Anniversary having a similar fishing thing, or it was based off similar code, even if it's different. I don't remember the story on that. I don't want to quote you one way or the other, but I remember about, I don't know, 300 hours into watching Skyrim stuff over like a month, and playing way too much Skyrim on stream. I remember coming across something about it. Let me see, where are we going here? Let's see here. Where in the hell? Got ourselves another fishing hole. Another tongue weaver, but not the actual fish that we need. It's unfortunate, but true. I am super excited today though, chat, because you know what I got today? Banana popsicles. Life's good. I mean, unless they didn't come on the delivery. We'll find out. You know, it is, like, if you've ever ordered, like, food from the grocery store for, like, home delivery. In some states it's easier than others in some areas. Here it's as easy as water. It's like for like $4 or less you can have like your groceries delivered to you, and I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm like, I don't want to carry like 3 or 4 backpacks worth of shit home on foot. I'm good. I can even order more stuff now. That feels such a great feeling, especially if you need to, like, if you get jugs of water and stuff. Like I get jugs of purified water for like the cats, and if I'm making stuff that takes water, like if I was making like a frozen smoothie or something, I would probably, you know, use purified water in it or anything if it called for water. But you get the idea. You'll need it more often than not. you can't really think of anything at the time, but then when the time comes to use it, you're like, damn, I'm glad I have that there. But yeah, carrying home 5-6 gallons of water by hand for like even a half mile is like a pain in the ass. I can see why people had wheelbarrows and shit going to the store and farmers markets back in the day. Which then eventually became like shopping carts. But shopping carts don't help if you can't walk the damn thing home. And it's not set up to do that, so it kind of, for me at least, it defeats the purpose. If it was like back in the day when I had a car and I lived in a different place where you needed a car, it's different. But like when you don't have a car, it's like, shit. I don't want to have my groceries. I have to make 2-3 trips to the store in one day. Nah, I'm good. But delivery's been getting weird over the last few years. I don't know if this is a sign of COVID, like you know, the cold thing that happened over the last couple of years, the sickness. But I don't want to like say it because I don't want to get like demonetized. But you get the idea. But I ordered this camera from Amazon, right, with the donation money, and they were like, hey, for an additional $2.50, you can have same-day shipping. And I'm like, what? And they're like, yes, eco-friendly same-day shipping. Oh, fish large. That's furniture though, so while that's cool that we got that blue, that's not the actual one that we need. But yeah, they're like eco-friendly same-day shipping, and I'm like, all right, I'll buy. So I placed the order at 5 in the morning, and at like 6:15 that afternoon, they literally brought my package, and I'm like, holy shit. It's like $2.50. I was like, no way. But yeah, I don't it was one of those things where I kind of had to question how it was eco-friendly. I was like, kind of reminded me of like Futurama, where anytime they got a crunch or problem, like the professor just turns on the machine and like an additional 50 barrels of like radioactive waste just go out the back of it. And it's just like, I feel like that was what was actually happening or something, but they're like eco-friendly. But no, they got that stuff down. I don't know how they're doing it. Maybe they changed their vehicles around to have a different type of fuel or electric or all that kind of stuff, you know, to make it a little bit better. Wouldn't even begin to know, but it blew my mind. I was just like, holy shit, same day shipping. For groceries and shit, that makes sense, but like for Amazon stuff, I was like, damn, nice. We got it. Hell yes, we are free of the rivers. The Chinlea. 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 I think we should do lake, maybe? Yeah, let's do lake next. So let's consult the Book of Omens. In this case, it's an image. Alright, so I'm going to put it on the big screen so I can actually see it on my end. We need to go fishing for lake. Now, lake is that teal green stuff that you're seeing. There's lots of lake fishing holes where I'm already at, so life's pretty good. We just got to figure out where it is. Now, here's the next question. Is there lake fishing in a dungeon? And the answer is probably, but I don't know where it is. I know that more dungeons exist that have fishing than those. I've seen, I think, a third one where there was something, but I don't know where. So we're kind of dealing with that too. Let's take a look here. I guess I'm gonna go. Oh, it's all by that waste shrine. No, it's the other waste shrine. Okay, so basically at this point we're just gonna look for puddles of water to go fishing in. And by puddles I mean like ponds, lakes, that kind of thing. You'll see what I mean. So the water still moves here somewhat, even though it's kind of just reverberating in a jiggle pattern. These areas, however, may be considered lakes. That's my hope anyway, that these would be considered lakes. Alright, so we're just gonna head east. Find ourselves some unconnected bodies of water, and maybe we'll have ourselves some good fishing. Like this. Nice. Let's get that lake fishing in action. So, minnow, lake bait, let's go. And then soon I'm gonna have to add more food in to the mix, but that's okay. I'm okay with this. So the penguin was in the water swimming, and it was swimming around in the water, right? Just chilling. But then it got too close to me and spooked itself, so that's why you saw it haul ass out of the water and run up the hill. Now it's slowly walking its way back to over here, and that bear is getting a little bit too close for comfort. Actually, I'm gonna come on out here, stand right about here. And now the bear's gone. He's no longer in my peripheral. No longer a problem. Or is it? Oh, okay, so it's not really going to go any further than where it was. But that penguin does not like my presence at all. Or loon. They're called chub loons, but to me they're just... I don't know, they're absolutely not penguins, but they might as well be penguins. To me they're like quirky video game penguins. I know they're like a creature that exists that is not a penguin, but yeah, I'm calling them penguins. And they do stupid penguin stuff. Well, we've managed to get 1/3 of the fishing. No, I'm sorry, 1/4 of the fishing done. Although technically, if you count the 13 fish, it would be 1/5. But we're not going to count that. It's a different achievement, even though it's fishing. If that makes sense. But you won't get master, super grand master, crazy ass achievement. I think unless you get both, or maybe just a 3rd achievement for both. I don't know. I just know there's 2 actual achievements that you complete. One to get the 12 fish, and then one to get the 13th fish. But I do know that it's going to be probably an hour before I can fish for the other one, because we've only gotten from here to here since I went back to fishing river fish. So that would be... shit, I don't know, 30 minutes. Hey, it's another furniture fish. So we'll say 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes. Yeah, so about 2 hour turnaround, or an hour turnaround. I know it's a wildly off base estimate, but it's at least an hour. They just keep getting tweaked by my presence, so anytime they'll just waddle until they get close to me, and then they're like, "Oh shit, it's a human," and then they run off. It's actually pretty comical, but I just always see them hauling ass past me at random. See, watch, he's just gonna waddle up to me, and he's gonna get about right here and be like, "Oh my god, it's a human," and then come hauling ass. Still walking towards me. It's just underwater. You can't see it really. Well, see, it's like, oh my god! I love that. That is so great. God, can I take you home? You can just run around my house and poop everywhere. Wait, no, that sounds terrible. Yeah, just stay out here. Here it comes again. It's gonna it's gonna crop dust me again. See, like it waddles up to me, runs past me, takes a shit, and runs off. See? Then he goes and tells his friend that he's going in for a second pass. Oh, I was looking at all the different AI voice changers and mods and all sort of crazy cool stuff like that. And soundboard stuff. I want to get a soundboard. And I want to make like different like dono things, so like when people can like donate, it'll do different stuff. And then I can be like, yo, you can have it to all these things. But yeah, I was looking at all the different stuff, like the voice mod app was pretty cool. I was like, that's pretty neat. I wouldn't like constantly use it to change my voice, but it would be cool to be able to use it in situations where like I would be making fun of something and I can like change my voice to be deep and it'd be comical, stuff like that. I got minnows. So I have 229 total lake bait. And I know I have a ton in my mailbox that I gotta loot. I should probably get to that soon. I'll do it after this fish. Oh, sweet. We got one of the ones we needed. This is coming along quite nicely. I have 35 messages, chat. That's crazy pants. Okay. Here we go. Items sold. Yeah, 2,335. Items sold. 2,335. Items sold. 2,325. Ooh, we got mastic and pitch in the same order. Nice, nice. honing stone. 2 recruiter runes, not bad at all. Those are purple enchantment runes, so they can make purple enchants. I sold my axe for 46.50. Sold my gauntlets for 46.50. Sold the others for 46.50. Sold my sash for 46.50. I sold my Rubito leather jack for 32.25, and the other jack for 32.25, and the guards of the Wilder Green for 46.50, and my siege's boots for 46.50. 23.25 for my Ebonheart necklace. And the boots that go with it for another 23.25. Here's more materials from yesterday. 2 more recruiter runes. Hell yeah, at this point we can make a lot of enchantments that are purple. Okay. Corn! That's a shit ton of corn. Hell yeah. Corn is essential for early game crafting of food if you're at Ebonheart. Alright, so here's our purchase 200 fish roe. And 200 guts for lake bait, and 200 chubs, and 100 foul crawlers, and another 100 foul crawlers because they're on sale, and I bought a single crawler because it was cheap. Oh, I sold a Sithis Jack for 23.25. Now we are back to today's raw materials, which is grain solvent, lots of apples and honey. Elegant lining, which is good, and some raw spider silk and a diamond. That's pretty cool. And we got some pitch in today's order from the woodworker. We also have 2 well, you know, a bunch of runes. They're basic runes though. Okay, cool. Yep, okay. Alright, so now that we've done that, we have tons more bait to play with here, yeah? Still using a minnow though. But if I get the fishing, and scoring some more fishing stuff like this, right? One of the, I can say that this is kind of one of those beneficial achievements to chase, right? So, let's say you're doing this by yourself, right? You can either have like me on in the background or something else that you like to watch, and then fish. Go numb, right? Go brain dead on it, and just kind of watch your thing and click the button and then loot and then click the other button and watch your show and so on and so forth. Let a couple of hours go by doing that shit. Go to a place where you can just not have to move, right? Go to Kvatch or go to Anvil. Make sure you do not, if you don't want the achievement, don't use achievement food. Like don't use fishing food if you don't want the achievement. So it's even cheaper then. But yeah, you can just go sit there, fish, mind your own business, and then next thing you know, you've got like 400 fish or 500 fish. Well, you have a 1% chance of getting a perfect row. So if you do the math on that, you technically have a chance of getting anywhere from 3 to 8 fish if you add in variants, right? So, yeah. It's one of those things where you can easily make 75k off each, or 70k off each perfect row. So at 70k per perfect row, 7 times 5, you'll at least make 350k just watching like a movie or two. So if you think about that, if you ever need, you know, septums in the game, you can just literally do that. Now, if you are achievement fishing like I am, where you're trying to get all the rare fish, you'll do a lot of fishing in a short amount of time, and because of that, I also rake in a ton of fish, and as such, as a byproduct of that, I turn them into fish to crafting mat. And when you convert all your different white fish, your normal fish, to the fishing crafting mat, you have that 1% chance of getting perfect row. So it just pays off on the back end. So every time I do one of these fishing streams and I complete a zone, I'll go and I'll sell the perfect row that I got from it. And I'll end up with anywhere from like 3 perfect row to like 8 perfect row. So yeah, to me at least, it's not the most highest paying item. It's not the lowest paying item, but it is a fast selling item that you can easily acquire without almost any upkeep. So for every like 20k you spend on bait, you're going to make like 80k back usually, because it's like 200 fish that you'll be fishing up with that bait, and you'll probably get like 100 and we'll say 175, because the rest will be like loot fish, right? So you'll have a 1.75 chance of getting perfect row just off those fish. If you end up getting a perfect row, you can make way more than you spent on that bait back. So it's one of those things. It's not foolproof, but it definitely works. And I do fishing by streaming and, you know, occasionally shooting shit with people who come by. I don't know, it helps out. Between fishing for an achievement and fishing on stream, it helps out a lot. But my goal today, chat, is to try to complete this so that we can basically go play BattleBit. If we don't play BattleBit today, I'll be playing it tomorrow. One of these days for certain. And the reason why, man, they just had a huge patch. Like in the last month or so, they've been so busy over there, like, I can't do that shit justice, man. Like their team has accomplished more shit in this short amount of time than most AAA companies will accomplish fixing a game that has no shit moment at launch. Now, like, and I'm not talking about any company. Like, what we're up against here is not a very high bar. It's like DICE, who made the Battlefield series, right? Think of stuff like that. For like when the game, like when the Battlefield games come out, they're all shitty and glitchy and everything else. Well, when these guys released BattleBit Remastered, it wasn't shitty and glitchy and all that stuff. It was actually decent. And any of the tweaks, new stuff, new content, releases, all that kind of stuff, all that came in a very short time frame, which is awesome because I didn't have to sit back and wait 6 months to a year for like these updates to hit. They were like, yeah, we'll fix that right up, we'll get it going in a few weeks. And it's just like, what? And they do it too, they're really good at it. I'm like looking around, we have multiple fishing holes, and that's good. And one here, one up there that I can confirm are lake holes. So I don't think we're gonna have to leave this area of the world to actually go fish for other lake fish. We just need to get the lake fish to drop. That's, let's see, a matron eel pout. Okie dokie. Let me confirm that we still need the other one. Yeah, a giant hammerjaw and a vorkiposh. So we need 2 fish still in this water. Oh, that soda is so good. Olipop Strawberry Vanilla. It's a prebiotic soda. It's not something you can drink a lot of, like back to back. So it's not like normal soda. But if you have to like find a good healthy ass soda to just sit back and go, hey, this doesn't taste like a healthy ass soda, it tastes good. Then yeah, this is great. Also, we just looted the Vorkaposh, which is good. That's definitely one of the fish that we needed. So we now need 1 fish in the lake, but we know how this shit goes. But, you know, relatively speaking, it has not been too bad fishing out here. We're at 1 hour and 19 minutes. We've been fishing for what, like 1 hour and 5 hours and 10 minutes total? We've managed to clear the river section. Do I think this whole area will be done in 2 hours time? No, but I do think that it will be done in less than 4, which is pretty good. I hope that's the case. My god, I hope that's the case. Yeah! So what do you think, Chad? Is there I don't know, is there a better way to go about doing this besides being in a group and having all the buffs. I guess what I'm saying is I know there's a better way to go about doing this, but I don't want to jump ahead of my expansion to do all that stuff. I could technically just, you know, go down and find the fishing companion that you gotta talk to for 6 months. I mean, you don't really, but from what I understand, at some point in time, we're gonna be given a companion, and that companion will literally flip a bitch depending on whatever we do. So it's got a point system where they'll get mad at you, or they'll be super about it if you let any of your gear get too low. If you let your enchantments run out, like if your gear breaks or your enchantments run out, they get pissed. If you swipe stuff from a beggar, they'll get pissed. The problem is that if you skipped ahead and got this guy to follow you around, and then you went into the Thieves Guild, they would absolutely be appalled by your actions, which would have serious negative connotations and would literally take you a while to dig yourself out of again if you can. I don't know the exact way the mechanics work, but I do know that the point system is pretty high if they are present when you swipe something from like a beggar or anybody who's in a noble really, or a merchant. So yeah, it kind of backfires having that partner around. They're known as Sharp. If you go look up the quest line for that, I'm intentionally not researching it too much because I don't want to skip ahead too much and spoil it for myself. But yeah, apparently it's like a person that you have to kind of train them how to do good in the world or something like that. And yeah. But then you have other companions that are really cool. The Thieves Guild one's pretty okay. You can fence your shit anywhere, but just a 30% tax on it. So it's not really the best. But if you're running from like everybody and you know that you're about to get caught in the next few minutes or die, then it's probably a good idea to run around the corner, summon them in, spam sell everything, and then try to get away. There's banker companions, there's combat companions, there's all sorts of interesting stuff in this game. I actually like it. I don't use any companions right now, mainly because I just like the ability to be sneaky stealth. And if I get used to having a companion around, I'll forget that they're around and go stealth and break my stealth a lot. Or maybe they won't break stealth, but I don't know, it breaks the immersion. It was like in like WoW, right? Like whenever you could go invisible, but they could still see your pet. And it was like, what's the point of that? It wasn't just on your end. Maybe it's on your end now. I haven't played in years. But back in the day, if it showed on your screen, it also showed on theirs. So like if you were invisible, but your pet was still visible, and I don't mean like your hunter pet or something like that. I mean like your out of combat pet. So if you were sneaking around as a rogue, you would just see like this little cat kind of zigzag walking in the middle of the field, and you'd be like, what the hell is that? I remember running into people who were doing that so many times, and like was it Stranglethorn Bell and shit like that way back in the day. I played so many, like not really adventure games. Like I guess I haven't played a lot of adventure games over my time. I mean I have, but it doesn't feel like it with all the different releases coming out, you know. But definitely had my fun with games like WoW and stuff. I was there for the heyday of that shit, thankfully. For better or worse. That was at Final Fantasy 14 for the Shadowbringers to Endwalker transition, where everybody was like, yeah, for Final Fantasy 14. But props though, they're the only company, or at least Yoshi P's group within Square Enix is the only company that can literally come out and be like, we're delaying by 9 months, and everyone would be like, fuck yeah! because they do it very tactfully. They're like, hey, look at all this really cool shit. It's coming out in the summer. Now, what is out of context with this is that it was, what, July? I think, when the Fan Fest happened. So they're saying beginning of summer, and I'm like, it's like May or June? I'm like, we gotta wait a year? Like, we were expecting it to come around, like, January, December. And then they were like, no, okay, it's gonna be at least March. And then the vets in the guild were like, okay, it's gonna be March. It's gonna be like March or May. And then they were like, we were like, I hope it's not May, and stuff like that. And they're like, no, it's definitely coming out beginning of summer, we think. And I'm like, oh shit, it can get delayed again? No! So I was like, this is a perfect time to go check out other video games. And I'm definitely going back to Final Fantasy XIV to play the new expansion when it comes out. And I'll probably do a whole playthrough of Final Fantasy XIV like I'm doing here with the ESO. But I don't want to do that playthrough of Final Fantasy XIV when absolutely nobody wants to watch Final Fantasy XIV stuff. Well, I mean, that's not true. If you've got something funny as hell, right? Like take the show like Nova Fun Bun, for instance, right? Like, they've got really funny shit that just transcends what's going on in Final Fantasy XIV right now. So like funny meme grade shit. And that's awesome. That fortifies your channel and makes it resistant against basically what's happening now, which is if your channel's based around one game and that's all you do, then you might find that your viewership will dip when no one's playing the game. So if everyone's off playing other shit, waiting for 6 to 9 months for the next expansion to come out because we're not going to have a patch, really. I mean, so there's a patch, right? But part of it comes out now, the other part of it comes out in January, and then we just sit for 6 months. So unless you want to make that one patch, which is being broken up into 2 patches, you've got nothing to do for 6 to 9 months. In my situation, that's basically where I'm at. But like, I don't know. I just think it's interesting because everyone's off playing other shit, but we're definitely all gonna go piling back into Final Fantasy XIV because that's just kind of how that culture works there. And yeah, it's one of those things. Alright, let's see here. Where was that other one at? Is this the other one? Oh, this is the other one. No, this will be saltwater. This will definitely be saltwater here. Yeah, saltwater. Alright, so let's go find some more lake holes. Is that a lore book? Oh, it is a lore book. Hell yeah. Damn, that lore book straight up disappeared. Usually when you read them, they kind of stay on the ground, but that one was just like, nope. Alright, 23 minutes on this food. We got ourselves some lake bait, got ourselves some food. We're in shape. see here. This like Horker is just like, I'm chilling on my back. Not giving a crap. Gonna blow my nose. Let's see if I bounce around. Alright, so we just need to lake fish. Of course, it's a bluefish. What else would it be? But for real, it's something. But I also know that it's almost midday, which is good. And I believe we're catching snow. Yep, we're catching snow. Come on, fishy. I want the fish to drop so I can do other shit. It's a pretty, like, hyper casual, like, fishing area, though. It's just like, what's up? I'm chilling. Kind of reminds me of, oh, what was the place you ever heard? Bleak Rock. Bleak Rock Isle. I feel like Bleak Rock at one point was going to be Solstheim, and then they changed it to Bleak Rock in mid-development. Again, nothing to go on, but if you ever actually look at Bleak Rock, the map, and where everything is geographically, and then look at Solstheim, where everything is geographically, Bleak Rock is stupidly small compared to Solstheim, right? But at the same time, it kind of, I don't know. It looks like the map kinda, and everything else. So, just a thought. I always wonder things about this. Of course, there's no devs just be like, hey devs, could you tell us the secrets of your game like that? No, some of them talk, but not all of them. I just wish there would be devs that, and there are some cases of this, but what I would really like to see is devs that have like retired or they're older, you know, somehow get clearance where they could just like set up their workstation the way it was at work and be like, this is how we did these things, you know, and go through and show the edits of their day-to-day editing or what this person would do to make these things happen in the game, stuff like that. That would be cool as shit. Let's see here. What's next? Is there a fishing hole over here that is not saltwater? That would be fantastic. And just so you know, Chad, if you got in the water over here, you would literally be dying of hypothermia before you could even swim across this thing. I'm pretty sure this is a saltwater area though. We'll see, but I'm pretty sure. If there's even a fishing hole, which there's not. Aha! A lake, but this makes a little bit more sense than that. Damn, this place is cool as hell, isn't it? But I would definitely say this is the place to do lake fishing. As far as in this zone goes, like if there's probably other places that you could be lake fishing, but I've had so many holes in such a small area that it's just like, okay, why go anywhere else? Had a similar problem in what was it, the Gold Coast? Tons upon tons of lake fishing holes, no drop. And like 600 fish, we finally got the drop. Everything else dropped within like 75 fish. But that one was just way misproportionately done than the other one. It honestly felt like when they were doing the variables for the fish and the odds of catching it, like they put an extra 0 in there on accident, so it was almost like 10 times as long. Hoping that catch this fish somewhat soon. You know, that'd be really cool. Oh, they're teleporting away. I was like, what are they doing? And they're teleporting. They have a special, unique teleport, it looks like. Or maybe they're teleporting? Maybe they're like, they have like a custom emote or something. Who knows? Alright, so we're getting some wet cuddy sacks. Those, again, they contain loot in them for crafting. So, you can find bunches of random things. I don't think you find a lot of food items for crafting them, but I think like runes and stuff like that will drop out of them. Like, come on, fishies. Come on, fish. Alright, anything over here? Here's one. I was like, I know there's gonna be some kind of fishing pole somewhere around here. Oh, what's the pond? There we go. Just gonna keep running through here, getting stuck, and then running back through. I think the whole time I'm fishing this hole. Yep. I love this glitch in programming. It's great. They just panic if you get close to them, no matter what. Here he goes. He's gonna freak out soon. Go get it. It looked like he was chasing my lure for a second. Oh man, that was some crazy shit. Entertaining penguins. Kind of makes me want to like just create like you know, the old thing where they would just have like GIFs randomly blocked across the screen like sprites. I just want to have like this sprite chubloons just randomly running across my screen. If we complete lake fishing, we can do fowl fishing. Thing is though, is because where the sun's at, it's kind of hard to tell. It's going to transition to the east still, so, or to the west, I mean. So it's going to be some time before it's time for night fishing. But I think what's going to happen is we'll finish this achievement. Not achievement, but we'll finish fishing lake, right? And then probably go back to fishing foul water. And the reason why is because I need to know, I need to wait till it gets to be sundown. From sunset to and nighttime is when I do fishing. I know one of the things that I can't wait for is what I'm going to be like at the end of running all the content versus now. By the time that we get to the end of running all the content, I should have at least a couple of mythic pieces. Hopefully have done scrying. Hopefully have done leads from antiques. And I will almost definitely be over 1,000 in rank. Or at least somewhere high up there. It's like, come on, fishy. Damn it. I want the fish. Give me the blue fish, please. Blue fish, please. Yes, please. Blue fish. I feel like in the time it would take me to fish up this fish, I could figure out how to train and bribe these 3 loons to, by giving them all my other fish, you know, to go find the actual fish and bring it back. No, so it looks like this week's event is or this weekend's event is a Necrom event. So if you have completed the game or you've completed Necrom, you can run Necrom stuff, like dungeons, stuff like that, I think it is. Anyway, fulfill the requirements and you could damn near get double drop chance in a lot of your stuff right now. So the items that are dropping, some of them are absolutely ridiculous. I've been watching them pop up in my guild feed throughout the day. I'll be up there eventually though, but I'm in no rush to hit the end. See, there's something that games like Final Fantasy XIV teach people, right? Which is, if you think you're gonna skip to the end so that you can get to the good stuff at the end, the raids and all the content with the homies, you know what I mean? Like, that's not how a lot of these games work. World of Warcraft works that way, but that's it. A lot of the other games don't work that way. So, like Final Fantasy XIV, for instance. What's up, Donkey? But like with Final Fantasy XIV, there were people who paid to skip or who fast forward through all the cutscenes on their first experience of the game because they wanted to get right to level 90, and then when they got to level 90 they realized they didn't have that much to do. They did have dungeons, raids, trials, all that fun stuff, but it was hollow because it didn't really mean anything. It was just these different arena situations. So you basically took an MMO and you turned it into an arcade game by playing it that way, right? And then after a few months they're like, oh, this sucks. I don't want to play this game anymore. And I'm like, did you skip all the cutscenes? Yeah. Why would I want to watch all that? I'm like, because that was 90% of the game that you skipped. And you're like, oh, well, I don't want to do it again. I won't have all my stuff. And I'm like, oh my god, go play another game. You know what I mean? Like one of those kind of things. So, Elder Scrolls Online is a little bit more compartmentalized, but playing it chronologically is still by far the best way to do it. People who skip through all the cutscenes in Elder Scrolls Online to get to the end content will have the same issue that they had in Final Fantasy XIV. So it's very much similar to that. That's why I'm just enjoying the story. I'm enjoying the fishing. I'm playing, saying what's up to everybody that comes along, and enjoying the experience the way it was probably meant to be enjoyed, if that makes sense. But I'm excited though. Fishing in Orsinium without overloading my PC is a good feeling. The highest it's gotten is like, I think, like 58 to 60 on the Celsius tree. And that's still kind of high. But, I mean, it would be shutting down right now if this was how it was before I cleaned it. This is just that DLC fish. Shit, this guy's name is Use. He'd be like, Use! So watch these loons. Their programming in the game is they'll get near me, and then they'll think that I ran towards them, right? This is where their program is. When you get in proximity of them, they run away. So these guys will just keep slow walking back to their original spawn point, which is around where I'm standing, right? And then they'll freak out because they got too close to me and they'll run away. It's the funniest shit. There he goes, the game's like, ah! And then they'll be like, oh, we're over here. We need to reset. So they're gonna try to walk back towards me and then freak out because they got too close. So good. I've been watching this shit for the last bit. There's an actual superfish, and this zone is one of the few zones that has an actual superfish. So at sunset and nighttime, you can catch, if you're in a very small area along the coast, you can catch a purple fish, which is very rare. In fact, this would be the first one I've really chased down. I think maybe two, maybe the second, I don't remember. But first time I remember having to go after a fish like this, and it may take a while, or it might be simple, but it only drops during those times and situations on a very limited number of fishing holes. So it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. I'm waiting now by fishing all these other areas, right? Waiting for the sun, which is still very much in the east, to Overcrest and then go down this way. When that happens, we can make our way back over to the coast in that spot and then fish for the superfish. So I look forward to that. Oh, I lost my fishing spot. I didn't lose it, I fished it out. Where's the next one? Oh, nope. Nope. Yeah, there we go. So I guess we start the circuit over again? Yeah, so we start the circuit over again. Get away. There we go. I kept pressing the wrong button and it kept popping back up, but I'm like, go away. Alright, so this is technically lake water. We just gotta look for lake fishing holes now. And because it's such a pristine water, it's really kind of a pain to see where we're going. You see this? It's like, oh my god, yeah, bow down to the purple elder fish. The other purple fish. And you know what makes this so good? You'll never guess what kind of fish it is. Apparently the name of this fish, right, is a giant overgrown slaughterfish. So it'll literally be like slaughterfish, that kind of thing. Oh my god, I'm getting stuck on terrain. There we go. Lord Fish. We could call it the Angle Lord for angling. This is maybe lake water? I would most definitely consider this a river. Yeah, okay. So this is river water. So I'd imagine from these stones right here, kind of on, we're just going to be lake water. Bummer. I think we have fished maybe 10 different fishing holes out here, and not a single freaking one of them has respawned. That is unfortunate. There are other places that we can fish, but damn. Let's hoping one would pop back up at least, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm seeing nothing. Not a damn thing. Oh, no, I got one over here. This game, dude, it is good in some ways, and in other ways it makes me want to be like, what the hell? So let's see, chat. Will it be this fishing hole? Or will it be another 25 fishing holes? It does feel that way sometimes, though. Like, so the Gold Coast broke me. Like, it broke me wanting to go fishing. Since then, I'm just like, it's gonna be like the Gold Coast. Because I didn't like that very much. The rest of the so most of the Gold Coast was fine. But there was like one fish that wanted to drop between the waters of Anvil and Kabach. That was so freaking rare. It's almost like they put an extra 0 when they were putting in the variable by accident, you know, like a typo with an extra 0, and it caused it to be 10 times harder to get. Because it felt like it. It was supposed to be like a 60 to 75 fish hole average to catch, and it was like 650. That's what it ended up being, 600, 650. So it was almost exactly 10 times. Oh, speaking of Doomslayer, if I don't know if my computer's going to hold up to me playing a game like Halo right now, because I played Halo all the way up to what, 4? And ODST needing to be played. So what I'm thinking about doing is playing BattleBit again for a few streams, because that new patch is pretty cool. Not gonna lie. They fixed a lot of my gripes with the game and added in a bunch of new cool stuff. If they were a AAA studio, they would have just said, oh, this is a completely different game. That other one was Battlebit 1. You have to rebuy it all now. No, they didn't do any of that because they're cool. They were just like, yo, we made a game that was better than the AAA studios. What? Oh, it was so good. And they're very humble about it too. They were like, we used to play all those games back in the day, and we used to hate the fact that they would just promise us things and they wouldn't deliver it, or they would be like DICE with Battlefield 3, right? Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. We had servers, but we had a shitty server browser, or not server browser, but server API for managing your server. And we had servers, but they were bad tick rate. We wanted better tick rate servers. That took a long time, but you get the idea. And then from the go, they were like, what would happen if we made a game like that, except it didn't have all the bullshit that people wouldn't fix? And if you ever wonder what it would feel like to play Battlefield without it being a, you know, under delivering, I don't want to call it a piece of shit game, because it was a very nice game, but it was not, it had its moments at launch, but you get what I'm saying. Definitely give Battlebit Remastered a try. Is it blocky? Yes, but it's not blocky in the sense, so it's kind of like, you've got like, you know how there's like different forms of like cartoons, right? Like you've got like kids cartoons, and then you've got like South Park, right? So when you think of like the blocky graphics, think of it more like a South Park environment, where like it's blocky because they spend all the time working on making it fun, and not on AAA graphics that would take and bottleneck them into all these systems that would take 6 months to a year to do any kind of edits or patching, and all this stuff that DICE had did with their stuff. Basically, when your game gets too big to work on and make edits in a short amount of time, you really need to get it right the first time. And if you can't get it right the first time, which no studio can, then you really shouldn't make your game so big you can't really work on it and make quick turnarounds. And they proved that. The game is very small in size, download size, but very huge areas to play in, and lots of good fun stuff. I like it. If you're not if you're not really caring about graphics too much, or your PC may not be able to run like the latest Battlefield games, give Battlebit a try. It'll probably run it. But it's just great though, because if you play Battlefield 3 or 4 back when they were out on PC, and you dealt with the custom servers and all that shit, I was part of a clan that had a major server for Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. Like, we were a hardcore rush server with high ticket count. We were like always populated, one of the top 10 back in the day. It was I think the Act Squad server or whatever back in the day. But anyway, long story short, after being dragged through the mud by DICE several times, it's almost like a bunch of people who got burned from DICE like I did, got in a room with a pen and a pad and was like, let's fix every one of their problems as a meme. And that's like so many of their problems got fixed, that Battlefield's problems got fixed in Battlebit, that it literally could be its own meme. Because I just remember the companies being like, oh, we just don't have the resources to chase all that down. We don't have the resources to fix all that. Oh, you don't want, or oh, that would take 6 months to a year to create, or this would take forever. Oh no, not anymore. Basically, 3 or 4 people in a basement basically just kind of gave the proverbial finger to DICE and made a better playable game. It's even got Levolution. Well, I don't call it Levolution, that's patented by DICE, but you get what I'm trying to say. You can knock the buildings down, stuff like that. But if I don't get to Battlebit today, I will definitely be playing it tomorrow. I'll be playing it tonight. I just don't know if I'll be playing on the stream. I probably will. The thing about BattleBit is I don't necessarily have a goal. But some of my greatest moments in streaming, personally, was during BattleBit. So during my stream, my donathon stream, I'll give you the short answer, the short, quick version of it, because I don't want to get stuck on a tangent. So my camera broke, and I was like, oh shit, what do I do? So I held a donathon to try to replace my camera, and it worked. It worked really well. I was actually not expecting anything, and if anything, maybe a couple of dollars to go towards, you know, having to buy the new camera. And then it was like, boom, boom. I was like, holy shit! Someone like donated like $40 in my stream towards getting the camera replaced, right? Which is like the whole cost of the camera. And the way it happened was, I was playing BattleBit, and I was having a casual conversation with everybody on stream, kind of like how I'm doing right now. I'm talking just like I am now. But on screen, what you see me doing while I'm having this conversation is charging through a wave of bullets like Naruto and laying waste to 4 people in the woods hiding behind trees. And I had forgotten to cut off the voice sync, so I'm glad that nobody started playing Fortunate Son or some shit when I was in a helicopter. That would have probably blown up my charity stream, but not charity, but my donatron stream. And it was so damn funny because after I'm having a conversation with chat, you know, and I laid waste to 4 people in the field, and all of a sudden you just hear, there's no fucking way, and it's like you just hear me kind of laughing, and then it goes boom boom Baso donated $40. I'm just like, what the it was probably one of my greatest moments of streaming as an amateur streamer. I need to make like a highlight reel of some of my stuff for my channel. I really suck at video editing. It's not that I suck at it, it's just, how do I put this? Old PC, subpar software. Not subpar, it definitely does the trick. But like, for instance, I don't have anything like, I wouldn't say After Effects, but you know what I mean, like any kind of real cool program like that. But I do have Wondershare, so I'm not at the end of I'm not at the bottom of the barrel as far as my editing software goes. I just need to, I don't know, get more education on it. Does that make sense? Ow, I hit my elbow. Is that true? About the sweet rolls? If so, that is the stupidest, dumbest thing in the world, and I would have invented the mod in like 10 minutes to bypass that shit. I didn't know that. That's actually... Wow. Really? Damn. You know, I never thought about it like that, but yeah, that is true. Oh, that's why, because there's no like cooking in or is there cooking? I don't think there's cooking in Skyrim. You have to like get the mods for it, or was it a DLC? One of those. It's a thing. Damn, that would be some shit. Like, look at that on my phone. That would be nuts. There is. It's just I've played so much Elder Scrolls Online in the last month, because I was playing Skyrim and stuff like that about a month or so ago. I want to do another playthrough of it with a randomizer. The door randomizer is something I absolutely look forward to. Hold on 1 second. There we go, sorry about that. Yes, keep looking with the food. I remember the first time I saw the dolmen chain effect happen, like years and years ago when I first started playing ESO. The dolmen chain hits the ground, and I'm just like, this is insane. I remember thinking that back in the day. Where's the next fishing hole at? I want to play, but yeah, I want to play the randomizer with Skyrim. That is absolutely what I want to do. The door randomizer. So if you've already played the game, and you know how it goes, and you don't really care about the storyline so much at that point, right? You can set yourself up so that every single door will port you to another random location. So it's absolutely like crazy pants silly. Like you'll go and you could be outside of a shop, but you can't go into the shop because when you enter the shop, it's going to teleport you to a random place or dungeon or instance. I watch people play this mod, and it sends people into the most inopportune places. Like of course it's randomized. You actually put in a seed thing, kind of like a Minecraft level. Every time you start it up, so that you can choose the same one that you were working on before, or you can create a new version of it, you know, whatever. But man, some of those were great. Like they were getting stuck in the Thalmor Embassy courtyard, but they couldn't open any doors because they never stole the key or acquired the key, so it would soft lock their game. There was another one where they were running from Alduin at the very beginning of the game. So like basically, for those wondering, a dragon attacks for the first time in like almost 1,000 years or something stupidly long like that, right? Out of nowhere. There's been like not even remains of dragons, but yeah, it's just like, what? Out of nowhere. And everybody's in a full-blown panic, and you run around, and eventually you go into a couple of rooms, a door. There's a lot more involved in that, but when you first go to a door that you enter, that's an instance, it literally goes and teleports them to the Dark Brotherhood quest, where you have to pick one of the 3 people to take out. And it's like absolute insanity. I was like, wow, that would be rough, because you're not even gonna get the benefit of it, because when you leave the room, it's gonna port you somewhere else. But yeah, that mod is extreme, and I thought it'd be really cool to check out, especially next time I play it. Either, I don't know, like if it doesn't take up too much of my my system specs, I might try it. The one thing I'm worried about is that you'll need a script extender to run it. If you need a script extender, I wouldn't be able to play it because I only have the Game Pass version. Well, actually, that's a lie. I have the Steam version, but the Steam version that I got was literally a day 1 purchase. So it doesn't have any of the expansions. It's none of the collector's edition. It's literally a 1.0 released back in the day version. And there are memes that are about this version was so bad, blah 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 blah, and it's like, I beat the game on that version. I remember being buggy as hell too. But man, since Gold told me about that with Skyrim, damn, that has really blown my mind. I never stopped to think about the fact that you couldn't do that without DLC. Huh. Was it Oblivion that had the horses? I think it was Oblivion. One of those. I know we had a friend of ours who was working on something, and something similar got put into the game, and he was kind of pissed. He was like, "Hey, we did this before Bethesda. Why are you?" They didn't one-to-one copy it, but you know what I mean. It's one of those things where they're like, "Really?" And the short version is that they offered him a job eventually, and he worked for them for a while. And it was really cool to know a modder who ended up getting kind of hired up. So when you hear all the stories of like how the modders were all hired up to help out with different aspects of the game in the late stage or in the next development of a game, stuff like that. Oh, that's incredible. See the ingredients in DLC. Check them out. The second flour, butter. Oh, the Heartfire DLC. Yeah, and you know what's so ironic is in like ESO, and of course ESO is not Skyrim, but at the same time with ESO at launch, those 3 ingredients were like water you can get in this game. And it's funny because it almost makes me think like they were like somebody posted a memo like, hey, make sure these 3 ingredients don't come up short in your next game. Oh man, see, that would be, and again, because the second time I played it, I didn't do as much of the other, but I'm trying to think, that would have been a royal pain in my ass if I could make a sweet roll. Especially when like the whole time you're trying to make a sweet roll, the guards are like, "What's the matter? Someone take your sweet roll," you know, and all that. And it's like, well, no, because I never could make it. Damn, you know what you know what else that means? That means there's a limited number of sweet rolls possibly in the game. Remember, a lot of folks are really big up about the cheese wheels. God, that reminds me, Doug's cheese wheels mod was pretty epic. I don't know if it's Doug's personally, but they definitely can code enough to make it. But they had it set so I think it was like every second or so another cheese wheel will spawn. And it was causing all sorts of chaos and crashing a game. The problem with streaming a game like that, right? If your goal is to stream the game to you run out of system memory, right? You have to have a 2 computer setup to actually do that. Because when the game flatlines, you have to have the stream still running and be able to talk to folks. I almost lost my headset. Also, again, I apologize for this weird winking effect I've been doing today. How do I put this? I'm definitely not having this problem when I watch myself in the tracking algorithm, right? I can see my face turn, everything's good. And then when I see how it translates said tracking algorithm onto my program, I do this. And I wink. And I'm like, why am I winking when I move left? It's probably something stupid, like your microphone is causing a refraction off of this, you know, like swamp gas. That kind of thing. It's aliens, bruh. No, I'm kidding. But, yeah, so if you see me doing a lot of winking when I look over to the left of my other monitor, that's fine. But I have y'all sitting on the right now on my phone propped up, so I actually have a whole system now. I can look to the right, talk to y'all. Look down here if I want to look at my camera directly. Look up here to say where y'all are at, and then look over here at my monitor. Oh yes. Oh yes. And everybody. Oh, there we go. Giant hammerjaw. Hell yeah. Is that the one that we needed? I think it is. Oh my god, we are free. We are free of this hellhole. We can go fish foul water until sundown. It's like hell, Michigan. So I remember, so Doug and who else was it? Was it Amano Seraphi? Yeah, Seraphi. So Seraphi was doing a stream where it was voice activated because see on YouTube you can't set up Twitch integration really well, so because it doesn't work on YouTube like that. So anytime somebody would donate, she would say the command, or it would play the command whenever they donated, right? The voice clip would play, and it would trigger it in the game. But then, as a side effect, people kept trying to spend the whole stream trying to get her to say similar words, so it would activate on purpose. It was so great. Like they learned that if she says the word drag, it's usually enough of the word to actually still trigger dragon. So you don't have to say drag on or anything like that. You were like, yeah, it was like dragon is across the ground, and then next thing you know, it was just like dragons activated. I want to do that, I really do, but you literally have to have a 2 computer set up to do that, because when Skyrim crashes from a memory leak, it usually damn near BSODs, or at least goes to desktop. If you have other programs running in the background, that'll cause it to crash out as well. So basically you have to have a 2 PC setup. I could pull it off, I just don't want to spend weeks setting something up I'm only going to do once. That won't matter once I replace my computer in a couple of months. So... But I do want to do that so bad. I mean, I'm like foaming at the mouth, y'all. I really want to try that out. The door randomizer and a couple others. Let's see. Thought about the D10 Oblivion. Lines included. The outtake. Oh. Speaking of that. There are audio files. I don't know if it was the audio files for like the creation, either creation or the editor or something, basically for modders, right? They left in, I think it's an Oblivion NPC, and it doesn't spawn anywhere in the world, but you can force spawn them in, okay? Which is key, because that means you can spawn them using console commands. You don't have to actually be a modder, right? If you do, they look like a normal person or a random NPC, they have a random name, blah, blah, blah. But the voice actor is 100% Todd Howard. And he'll say stuff like, you're really annoying me, man. Or stuff like that, which is like not something they would say in the game, usually. And yeah, I remember seeing that a couple of times. It blew my mind. I was like, holy shit, it's Todd! That and where's that piece of water where everybody puts all the testing objects? I forget where that was. I think it was like, oh, I remember where. It was like outside of a certain zone's wall because it was so easy to get out of, or a certain instance. Tell you what was crazy though. So we were all like really hard up into some Elder Scrolls back in the day, right? And we also played things like Warcraft. And then when ESO came out, for like, let's say the first 90 days of ESO originally coming out and the test time, there was some broke ass shit you could do in that game. Like, if you were a vampire who stacked full into Magicka, you could just be unkillable because you could recover 75% of all 3 stats every time you pressed a single button. So you could just be like, beep, beep. And I think it was even a ranged ability at one point, or you could morph the move to be ranged. They nerfed the hell out of that move. But man, that was some broken stuff. It was like the greatest version of the Elder Scrolls Vampire you could possibly have as far as causing anarchy. Yes! I was about to say, I think that's the one. The door with Todd Howard. So there's that, but then there's also the and again, I have to paraphrase this. I may be wrong with the title, but it was named something stupid like the Dead Body Recovery Room or something like that, which is a room where, like, if people died and certain commands, basically if certain things were going on screen when someone died, especially if they were part of a mission or they respawned in, like if they're part of a zone, like Nazim for instance, you wouldn't have this issue, even though you can't technically do that, but you get the idea because they're part of that zone. But if it was a spawn in quest search situation, like you get jumped by the red guards, or not jumped by the red guards, but jumped by the assassins for Mirak, and it leads you to Windhelm to go to Solstheim. Those assassins will jump you at the front gate of Whiterun as soon as you first enter Whiterun, and they will hit the ground. Now, for situations like this, right, it's supposed to basically run an error correct code, which then finds these bodies and pulls them away to this chamber, and you can come back to that chamber after a long time, like at the end of your gameplay session, and find like thousands of people crammed into this thing. It's almost comical. However, on the special edition on the Games Pass, for whatever reason, it seems to be broken. And I had shit just laying all over the place during my playthrough for like a whole month. Let's see. You need a video. I don't think story logic is bad. Installs or uninstalled. Or uninstalled 2 years. It's true. Oh, I tell you who does really cool, crazy, off-the-wall videos like that. Is it Kor Kanesh? I think that's how you say this name? Their name? They take theater and Skyrim to a whole other level. I mean, like, for real. There was this whole, like, 10-minute long, like, movie-style documentary thing about the geology of Skyrim and all this other stuff. It's something that's better to watch in a series. And it's... I don't know what you would call it. It's not necessarily overly funny. It's not overly this, overly that, but it just kind of, it's well produced. So there's that. But yeah, I was watching a bunch of their stuff recently. I want to do the what is it? The hardcore mode. You gotta survive and all that stuff, but there's so many glitches in that game. I don't know if I could do a hardcore challenge, an official hardcore challenge. I would have to have rules in place for my own sanity, so like if I end up falling through the textures or something stupid happens where like a freaking random pot on the ground kills me like an NPC, I want to be able to like be like, nah, that don't count. I would never be able to live myself if that kind of shit happened. Where are all my fishing holes? Damn it. Alright, let's go do fish. Let's do... I don't know, we'll do foul water for now. I was trying to see if a little bit of time would pass before it would hit noon and see if we would jump over to that. Basically, when the sun gets to be about right here is when we're going to have to come back to the coast. But for now, we're going to go someplace nice. Someplace I haven't shown y'all since last time I was streaming. Is it this one? Yeah. So the interesting thing about fishing in this game is that there's a lot of different cool stuff you can do. Oh, wow. That's pretty neat. Oh, that's pretty funny. Oh, I've seen when we're, I've actually caught a live stream where someone forgot to take their nudity mods off, and they got popped for it. If it was a game that already had nudity in it, you could be like, oh, my bad, you know. But like, they were caught with, the full Skyrim setup, if you know what I'm saying. I'm just like, no way! You're so never gonna let that down! So I have no idea how Starfield actually ends, right? Don't spoil it, please. But the greatest meme of all time is like, they go to hit the warp drive thing, or the dude goes into the gate, and it warps through time, and it pulls a what do you call it? Oh, what was that game? No Man's Sky. It pulls a No Man's Sky, and it sends you back to the start, except instead of sending you back to the start, it sends you to the freaking carriage from Skyrim. So like, you go into the portal in Starfield, and it's like, shh, and it goes, oh, you're finally awake. And I'm like, hell no. It was so good. I was like, if that was actually how that game ended, I would have been like, shut the hell up and take my money. This is the greatest thing in the world. Oh, damn. Yeah, so Skyrim opens up with you in a cart, a wagon cart, and then the guy goes, oh, you're finally awake. Oh, let's see, Fallout the Frontier. And the big thing being that serious missions are next to goofy. You know, I could see that being a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how the game's designed. Wow, is no one here fishing these? Oh, yeah, somebody's here fishing them, it looks like. Let's go see if somebody's... Not quite sure what they're planning, but there's nothing to fish here. The way that they keep going through their loot bag, though, back and forth, does not really necessarily make me think that they're doing anything besides basically trying to stay online. I'm not saying they're bots. I'm just saying they're probably bots. They've got gibberish names. Did they have gibberish names? I didn't pay attention to that. Let's see. Dino Moto. So their actual name is fine. Well, no, their names aren't bullshit. They're just AFK with weird button mashing things going on. So Fish Row is technically a slightly better bait, and we're fishing in a cave. Cave fishing is something that I honestly haven't done in this game until this instance. I wish we could fight for the spot. Oh, speaking of that, Cyrodiil fishing. So Cyrodiil, you may know it from Elder Scrolls Oblivion, is also in Elder Scrolls Online. And it's back in the past though. But it's a hotly contested PvP area where basically the bad guys own the Imperial City. And all three major factions, the Aldmeri Dominion, the first one, by the way, the good one, the actual Aldmeri Dominion, Ebonheart Pact, which is basically everyone from Morrowind and Skyrim mixed together, and the Daggerfall Covenant, which is all the lands of Daggerfall. Each take a section of Cyrodiil, and they're trying to push towards the center of the city. That's the lore behind it. What it really boils down to is you have a area of the map, or basically a map of Cyrodiil that is so big that it almost takes either as long as Oblivion or longer than Oblivion to traverse. And you do all the stuff that you would do in a PvE zone, but in a PvP zone. That's right. Not only is it like PvP, but like everyone is PvPing their ass off at that point. Oh look, there's people fishing fowl. Yay! So we'll either get nothing, or we'll get good fish. they may have so many buffs that it doesn't drop. I'll get into that in a second. But basically, so with Cyrodiil fishing is an open PvP area. It is the huge map of Cyrodiil. And you might think, hey, this map is huge. It'll be fantastic. Sweet. I got one of the fish we need. And that is true. You can do most of the fishing and never run into a single soul. Which is actually quite a relief compared to how it used to be back in the day when there was like thousands upon thousands of people in that zone. Damn, I already got another one. But what was happening was you'll notice that out of this huge area that is at least, so it isn't this big, but to me it feels about as big as like the DayZ map from back in the day when DayZ was in beta. It feels like that kind of big. Was it Chelyabinsk or one of those places? Anyway, there are 2 spots in the entire zone, and they each have 2 fishing holes next to them that can spawn. I think it's maybe 3 spots, but two of them are so close together it's like 1 spot, right? So out of this whole place, there is only those 2 spots along the bottom right edge of the map along the coast that you can go fishing. And the problem with that is out of a map that is so vast that you will never run into anyone, if you ever wanted to screw with someone trying to get the achievement, that would be where you would go, because they all have to funnel to that 1 spot for the fishing achievement. And I was so nerve-wracked. I ran into somebody, but you know what? They were AFK. If they weren't AFK, they would have just one-shot me probably and kept going. But yeah, that didn't take very long at all to get in and get out of there. I was quite impressed with it. Lots of fish! You know what? I think they are, but maybe they're bots. Maybe they're not bots, but I think they're bots. And the reason why I see this kind of turned in place and keeps fishing, and then he hangs out until the new fishing holes come out. If he moves after this fishing hole empties out, then he's not a bot. But if he doesn't move afterwards, I'm gonna call him a bot. Oh man. Ah, I hit the wrong button. I keep hearing his fishing pole. See, that's the thing. I wish there was a way to like bump folks. I mean, there is a way to bump folks. You just have to bump them. When I'm playing the loot, people bump into me all the time to get me to stop playing. It's so annoying because I'll be like, I'm gonna take a break, and I'll play the loot and I'll walk away, and I'll come back in like 5 minutes and I'll be like, why am I not playing? Oh shit, this Derzog's wanting some. It's gonna be bad. Yep, here it comes. Leave me alone, bro. You son of a bitch, I just want to catch fish. Foul fishing, everybody. It's never safe. I guess fishing in other spots isn't safe either, but foul fishing, you're almost guaranteed to have to wipe something out for every fishing hole. So for those wondering, we got both of the green fish that we need within the first 2 casts. At this point, we're just waiting for the blue fish to drop so that we can go back to the coast. And on the coast, we still have probably 2 fish to catch, 2 or 3 fish to catch. And that should be technically it. But there's a technicality to fishing here. So you have the achievement to catch all 12 fish, yeah? And that's fantastic. But there's a 13th fish, and that 13th fish can only be caught from sundown and nighttime on the coast near, was it Morkel Plains or something like that? And it's what? No, we got another guy fishing. Roger Race. Oh god. No. The names in this game. Some are good and some are just absolutely terrible. But this fishing is interesting. I wish everybody would bunch up on one fishing hole though. Lesser Ashmouth. So we're going for the blue fish. Damn it. They basically inadvertently got my fish. As soon as I went to loot it, they got a loot box too, and they pulled it quicker than I did, which is saying a lot, because I'm pretty quick on the draw. It's a thing. It's a thing. You'll see some people who have like absolutely... The only thing that can be said about some of the names that people have in here is they're trying to become like, not really cringe, it's more like meme bad. Like triggering meme bad, and I don't mean like in a... I mean, is it annoying content that people will use to do that? Yes, but is it the worst thing I've seen? No. But it does get silly sometimes, because I'll see games like Final Fantasy XIV, which are a very, very open community, really accepting community. But then you'll always have this couple of people that just kind of run around and be kind of, I guess say offensive. I don't really want to get hit by TOS, so I'm not going to go too far into it, but you know what I mean. Insensitively being a dick on purpose is, I think, the best way to put it. And I just never understood that. I guess it's got to be like a thing where people like trying to like get a rise, then they can go back and tell their buddies and stuff and be like, bro, I totally did that shit. They were so tricked. They were tricked the fuck out. And I guess that's kind of like when I was a kid. We used to troll the hell out of places. We found out all sort of cool stuff about games when we were younger, about how you could like modify and adjust games. Not really hack games, because they weren't really considered hacking back then. Some of the stuff was, but how do I put this? Well, okay, Final Fantasy XI, okay? In Final Fantasy XI, you can have, everyone has an apartment or a house, and it's called a Mog House. The Mog House is, well, you can put furniture in it and stuff like that. It's a very primitive version of the Final Fantasy XIV house. It's more like the inn in Final Fantasy XIV than it is housing in Final Fantasy XIV. So, in Final Fantasy XI, you could take them, so in the middle of your house, okay, in the middle of your house is this Moogle, and you would talk to the Moogle for everything you needed to do. He was your Moogle assistant, right? So what you would do is you would take the Moogle, and if you went to, you would log out of the game, and then you would go into the files for the game. Now, the files used to just be fancy ass WinRAR equivalent opening. You could just get WinRAR and open it up. What you had to do was you would open it up by changing the name from the whatever WTF blah 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 equivalent. The WTF thing is in WoW, but there was an equivalent in Final Fantasy XIV, right? And not 14, sorry, 11. And this has been way patched out. Okay, this is like Final Fantasy XI first comes to the US kind of thing. But back in the day, what you could do was you could open up those files by swapping and changing the name to, I think, pack files or something equivalent like that, or MQV, something like that. And you would get all these files that were hash coded. Well, what you would do is then you would then find on the net somewhere that somebody has gone through and figured out what all these files are. So then you would take and basically one-to-one use it to grab all your files, right? Or you would have a way of importing that list into your program so that it would show as the updated list of files, you know? And basically what I'm getting at is that you could change the music to your game. Now other people couldn't hear it, but you could. You could change the music to your game. You could change how your Mog looked. You could make your Mog look like Finra the summon, the in-game summon that you had to go through hell to get. You could literally make your, which never actually shows itself in your house unless you summon it in the house. But you could replace the Mog with that. Now, the crazy part about this is you could open up, if you open up the folder for each entity, each different, you know, situation would have its own little folder, right? And you would open up the folder, and inside of that would be all the shit, like the model file, how it's supposed to act, the audio cues that it's looking for, the behavior, you know, the effects that it'll do. Will it's like if it's a ram, will it stomp its feet when it walks? You know, that kind of thing. You could take like your Moogle, right? Your Moogle, but you could do other stuff too. You could, let's say you wanted to let's say you wanted to go after a rare mob that you had to camp for hours on end. Leaping Lizzie comes to mind. So Leaping Lizzie outside of Bastock, if you play Final Fantasy XI, is a lizard that spawns amongst other lizards. It takes 3 hours to spawn, looks just like the other lizards, and it will get got faster than you can imagine. What I could do was take and find the entity folder inside that archive for Leaping Lizzie. Then replace the entity folder's contents with the contents of the Great Behemoth boss battle. Okay, so or maybe the giant ram in the Highlands boss battle. So what would happen is you would be sitting around killing lizards for 2 or 3 hours, and then all of a sudden this big ass giant Final Fantasy XIV behemoth just like spawns on the map and starts going coom, 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 coom whenever it walks around, and you're like, huh. And because it's such a large item, the engine knows to show that creature from like at least a little bit further away than the other creatures because of its size. Not much further, but a little bit further. And it made it so that whenever Leaping Lizzie would spawn in, you would just see a big giant ass behemoth and you would know, oh, there's Leaping Lizzie. So that shit will get you banned harder than you would believe these days. But back then we were innocent enough, and it was such an early time in video gaming that it wasn't really frowned upon. It was kind of like, you know, some people had like MySpace accounts and they were able to make like music on their page and all sort of cool stuff, customize their page up. It kind of had that kind of vibe more than it did like we were doing some shady shit. Like it wasn't like that. But it was cool though, because you can go back and find where people have modded out their Moogle to be a different, like a summon from the summoners, or from this or from that. And you could use that same concept on any other entity in the game. Good science. I think New World had some weird shit like that too for a while when it came out. Like with New World, you could what was it with New World? It was oh yeah, if you played the game in browser mode, if anyone was going to attack you, or you were clicking the button to capture something, you could then take the browser in windowed mode, click on the top banner at the top of the browser, and move it. And as long as the window is being moved, the game is frozen in place, and your character's data is also frozen in place on the server. It was a really sketchy thing that should never have been coded that way, and I'm glad they hopefully fixed it. Not quite sure. I don't play that game anymore. But yeah, silly stuff like that. I should just make videos on, but it's hard to talk about it without using someone else's footage to demonstrate it, because I don't have any footage. One of these days, I'm gonna have to pull up some videos on Final Fantasy 11 stuff to kind of show y'all what I would do. Oh, and another thing I did in the game, I changed there was a desert area that you could go to and level, and there was like these like ant creatures and temples and cactuars and all sort of stuff, and you got there by running through this long ass tunnel underwater. I remember that distinctly, hating running through that tunnel. But the idea is the music was great, but I had better music in mind. So I played Diablo 2 at the time, and what I did was I took the music from Diablo 2's, I think, desert areas, and put it into the Final Fantasy 11 in their desert areas, so that I could actually just listen to that music while I was leveling for hours on end. It's pretty good times. World of Warcraft had similar stuff too that you could do like that. I would imagine that it had its own uniqueness as to things that you could probably do for a time with that when you got into the, was it MKB? I keep wanting to say MKB. That's probably not what it was, but it was basically, it was like 3 or 4 glorified pack files that you could break into that were the big BP files for the game. They just not set up this way anymore at all, by the way, in case people are wondering. So you can't go and do this. I feel safe talking about it because you're not gonna one up the servers. But yeah, it's one of those things for like, there's stuff like that. But one thing we never wanted to do was have like actual hacks, like the people who did like hacking so they couldn't be killed and stuff like that. Like that would be something that would just be immersion breaking, so we wouldn't do it at the time. I remember being so just put off by aimbots coming out. I was just like, ugh, aimbots are gonna ruin the modding community. And sure enough, chat, here we are in 2023, and there is almost no modding community. Thank you, aimbots. We hate you too. And it's not the only reason, but yeah, games aren't nearly as open now as they used to be. We're like all fishing on these one hole. Let me get the blue fish. I want the blue fish. Shit. So basically, if we get the blue fish, we can go on to the coast. And if we go onto the coast, then that's super cool, because that'll be the only thing left to go to. Well, we know he's not a bot. Because those were 100% manual movements on that rocket. This guy, though, I don't think this guy's moved really at all. He just kind of hangs out right there and waits for the fishing holes to come back. God, chat, I hope I get this fish today. I feel like we're gonna get it this stream, right? But it's gonna be one of those things where I'm just like wanting to scream when it comes time to catch that super rare fish. I know that as far as things go, you need to bring either friends with you or, well, we're not going too much into this stuff about how this works in a tangent. The best way to explain it is, every piece of food that buffs you makes it so that you have an extra person hanging out around you fishing, right? That's how the buffs work in this game. So if you eat the food that gives you a fishing boost, well, it acts as if there's 2 people fishing, right? That kind of bonus. So right now, if I'm having the food and I'm fishing, and they have their food and they're fishing, it's acting like 3 or 4 people are here fishing without anything, which is kind of cool. But I don't know how many of those buffs I would need to stack in order to catch that rare fish. I don't think I need to stack more than 1, which is fine because I have the food, and so I can just show up and fish with my food, and it might drop. Do I think that we will get the purple fish this stream? And the answer is probably not. But we'll get the 12 fish though. So we will get one of the achievements. I just gotta be realistic, you know, because it could take several nighttime phases for me to actually catch this fish. I don't know. But at least they're not all like that. I'm like, this blue one is taking forever because the amount of people fishing here, we should be able to get it quite often. With all these people fishing here, we should really just be able to reel it right the hell in. Fishes are beer pong. Yeah. They are. That, and statistically speaking, we would have fished out half of Tamriel at this point. The lesser ashmouth again. This place is so cool. I'm digging it. We're just like hanging out in a hole. Huh. So apparently the event that's going on today for the Necrom lands, which is like Telbani Peninsula and stuff, I don't necessarily have access to this yet. I mean, I do, but I'm doing it chronologically, so we got a while. If I was there though, hold on. The main thing is hold on, 1,000 questions here going on. Okay, cool. So Necrom area, crafting node doubling holiday. Apparently they're super rare. But they also drop caches as well. So that's cool. That's cute. They have like a little pit bull pup. I have my kitty cat who's just like watching the dog. Where's the dog at? Yeah. It's so cute. Let's see here, chat. Oh, fish. So, I don't know if y'all have ever seen the Saturday Night Live bit where it had like Timothy Chalamet, and they were like doing some kind of like it was basically making fun of like the Lausanne type scene, right? And like the funk trap scene. It was pretty funny. And it quotes, so my alarm when it goes off, it quotes the lyrics to me randomly. So it literally it will be like, "Good day, Damien," and it's like yeet 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 skirt yeet yeet skirt yeet yeet. Just like yes. See, Jubies just start playing when the almost. It's true. When I catch that purple one though, when I finally catch that purple fish, that's gonna be the thing, chat. Like for real, I'm gonna be looking forward to that. Speaking of which, man, you know what I've noticed? People sampling shit and turning it into original work somehow works for the legal sense of the definition, like to get you out of the copyright laws and courts, but it does not work for YouTube's algorithm. I was looking at, there was like a whole video showing situations that are like where people had, kind of like I did with the Halo video, where it was like the fucking, the Arbiter talking to Master Chief, and they were saying, "Oh, this is most definitely a French hardstyle song," and I'm like, "No, it is not, dude." It was comical to even think that, but no. I remember that. I was like so mad. But there's like other situations that are like even bigger. That's happened. Someone had. What was it? I saw this like yesterday. It was a pretty good one. When I remembered it, I'll let y'all know, but it was like really good situation. Not good at all, but it was like, it was similar to mine where I was like, what? Oh, I remember what it was. You can get flagged for playing the Doom song. Not for, so let me preface this. You do not get flagged by id Software, Bethesda, Microsoft, whoever the hell owns them. You don't get flagged by the actual company that made it or the publisher who owns it. No, you get flagged by some random person who sampled it in an EDM song, and I'm like, oh man, that's shitty. Because even though your work is not that, because you're playing the game itself, somebody somewhere doesn't have the algorithm set up to determine that this is not that. So once a couple of people submit their stuff to YouTube saying, "Oh, this is my samples, blah 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 blah," you literally have to dispute it damn near in a courtroom in order to get it to fix. And I think that's so silly. I'm hoping that they end up fixing that system at some point. I'm holding my breath though. Oh, it wouldn't let me fish because staying in the water. That was weird. Alright, so we have 2 fishing holes remaining. It's like, damn it, give me the blue fish. Just so y'all know, the chances have increased almost double that this blue fish will drop. Right? Like if you add in everyone's bonuses. So we're getting, if I had a 10% chance, or a 10% increase in chance before, we have a 20% now. It is not a 20% chance to have a rare fish drop, but it is a 20% increase in that chance. So it's actually much smaller than you think it is. But still, I'm just amazed that this blue fish hasn't dropped yet. It's true. So like, usually if you're playing the Doom song, you can get away with it. But it's just amazing because some of the things that'll get got by the algorithm are stupid. And I don't even mean like allegedly. I mean like they are absolutely dumbfoundingly wrong. Oh my god, I think I can talk about this one because it's cleared now. So here's the thing. I was playing Left 4 Dead 2, and when you first start a map, it goes, and it kind of zooms in, and then people will start talking while the map's zooming in to where you're playing, right, for like the first level. And then it will usually play the guitar a little bit, right? And you'll hear the guitar going, wow, 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 wow. You know, that kind of thing that does in Left 4 Dead 2, or a similar one in Left 4 Dead 1. And someone tried to argue that Valve's music that they used was a garage basement death metal band from the Philippines, but Indonesia claimed it on behalf of this band in the Philippines. And I was like, what? And I went and I found the song that they were trying to say it was. And you know when you record something in a garage, I'm pretty sure you've heard this before, where like garage metal bands will try to make a tape and record it, and it just sounds like, because it's on like an AM radio sounding setup when it's recorded, and you're like, where, like I'm sure that there's music in there, it's just you're not gonna find it on the recording because it sounds like it came from a hollow tin can. So it's just one of those things, and the bass the bass amp kept blowing out halfway through their song, and so you just hear it's fading in and out during their thing, so it's kind of bad. Not that means that the music is bad. Hell, I know a lot about that genre. That genre, the worse it sounds, the better. But let me tell you, here's the thing: it most definitely is not Left 4 Dead 2, and I had that happen. Luckily the dispute got turned around, but it was just one of those things where that whole process is so flawed. If I had two gripes about YouTube, it would be that there is absolutely zero discovery when you're live, except for luck, basically, and other people interacting with your channel. So if I don't drive interactivity with my channel while I'm streaming, then I don't get a lot of people finding my stuff. Whereas Twitch is kind of the opposite in a way. Not really, but kinda. At least there's some sort of discoverability feature. Whereas basically YouTube, it's not necessarily like that. Also, you can't do super chats or anything like that till you get like what 500 to 1,000 subs, super chats and ads. So you don't get any benefits from that, which I feel in a way doesn't drive streaming, because if you could drive some of the similar interactability with your audience that you do on places like Twitch and stuff, then you will probably grow as a streamer, or at least it would help. With us, we're basically stuck kind of doing it the best we can until we hit 500 subs, no matter who you are on the platform. I think that would be one gripe, and the other gripe would be that the other thing. Let me see. John, if you're wondering, I'm doing this while I'm counting fish that we're catching to see how many are in the holes here. I think it's somewhere like 15 or 19 fish. Pretty chill area though. Oh, that's wicked. I didn't even realize that. There's this huge bridge that goes over the top of us over here. That must have been like the old entrance into the place. But I'm getting ready to overhaul the chat interactability stuff, because I want to drive like audience participation, chat, that kind of thing. You know, be a better streamer. And when you're working on 10-year-old stuff, like 10-year-old gear, you're like doing it the best you can. It works, but it's like there's always more that you can do, kind of thing. So my goal is to basically set it up so that I could have tons of different dono things, maybe set up a custom TTS for the donos, but you know, just like stuff like that. Also, I can set up interactability stuff through stuff on the back end, so that way basically if I'm doing like a Minecraft thing or like a Skyrim thing, I can set it up so that people do that kind of stuff. You know, I wonder if we're gonna get stuck here for all eternity, forever and ever and ever, damned to be here like these guys. No, I'm kidding. We'll be out of here in the next 20-30 minutes, more than likely, at most. Mainly because I need to go ahead and bounce soon, but I can't. So I should be fishing the other fish right now, but this is such good fishing chances that I don't want to pass it up. We might actually be out of fishing holes soon unless one force spawns. Arg. I want to catch this blue fish. Oh, look, we got another person. Yes! We did it! Alright, now we get to go do the saltwater fishing. We have, I think, 1 fish remaining on the 12 fish achievement, and we have 2 fish total to get in the game. So 1 fish in the achievement, 1 fish for the other achievement. Worst comes to worst, then I'll take what I can get and call it when I get that fish in the saltwater, but I'm going to do everything I can to get it. I feel like it's still daytime a bit, you know? But the fact that I can't see the sun is probably a good thing right now. It means it's probably over there somewhere. Let's see, where is the sun? Ooh, it's getting ready to set in the next tick or so. Good, so I didn't miss the nighttime fishing. I was worried that I was missing nighttime fishing, but I am apparently not. So the way this works is, if you're near this coastline right here, and you're fishing the saltwater, you'll catch...
You if you can't deal with a few mangy bandits. Be quiet, or I'll let you deal with these brigands yourself!
Aw, ain't got their thing.
What is it? I almost wish I was dead.
Aw.
My poor loyal beast. What a shame. You will not be forgotten.
Aw.
I'm not carrying that load. Let's get going before more of them come. Thank you, Traveler. You've done the job I hired this apparent reject to do.
Aw. That was sad. So yeah, fishing from either here over to here. And there's like 2 fishing spots. So we'll talk to him, and he'll say,
If the fish
or they'll
don't
say,
bite, we don't eat. Still, I'd rather fish without having to worry about dead Nords. So thank you very much.
there you go. And then they'll tell you all about how they saw this crazy situation happen that you would never believe, and it sounds like a fish of a tale. A whale of a tale. But it was real. You'll catch the fish if you keep trying. Damn it. I heard their fishing rod, and I was like, yeah! Not true. Oh, sweet. They made a Fallout Shelter game for Elder Scrolls and just shadow dropped it. It's called Elder Scrolls Castles. I didn't even know this existed. Interesting, interesting. Well, you heard it here first, maybe? I don't know. I read it from the news, so I didn't hear it first. But yeah, so apparently they're making a Fallout was it Fallout Shelter style take on the Elder Scrolls universe. and it's called Fallout Castle. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. No complaints there. I'm like looking around at all my stuff here, looking here, checking out chat. I see you all over there. Let's see. Oh shit, I hit the wrong button again. Damn it. I always hit the button when I hear her pull her rod. I just realized like this one Horker is probably lighter than the other ones. Maybe it's a male or a female, who knows. We have different Horker colors. I'm pretty sure there's a book on that somewhere in this game. If not, it'll be in Skyrim. Oh, hey, here you go. Fun fact. So do you know why everybody in the Elder Scrolls are always talking about how Horkers are crazy, mad, dangerous, and they'll eat your face, and all those scary Horkers? You'll hear all about that in Elder Scrolls Oblivion and Morrowind, and especially Skyrim. And they're always talking about all the scary Horkers, maddening Horkers, they're ravenous, murderous beasties, right? Talking about these things, just kind of hanging out on the beach, right? The reason why these are in game is because whoever was creating, I think, was it Arena or Daggerfall, or maybe it was Redguard. I think it was either Daggerfall or Arena. They were originally going to make the boss like a demonic walrus person. And when they pitched it in a meeting, everyone was like laughing, saying that that would be the worst possible idea for a thing, and they forgot about it. But apparently they didn't forget about it, because it became part of the local inside joke lore over at Bethesda at the time, and made its way into the lore books. So now they always talk about those scary Horkers with their murderous, ravenous tusks. Oh, good times. But yeah, that's actually why it's at least why the lore behind it's in the game. I forget if they were in there beforehand. Oh, I got quite yawning, chat. I need some caffeine in my life. You know what? I got banana popsicles and all sort of cool shit. I need to be satisfied. Maybe have some more coffee, some soda poppins. Soda. Nothing beats frozen lime soda though, like 7-Up, Sprite, ginger ale. Shit's good. That and burners. I can stand burners, but I don't necessarily like burners ginger ale, the super kind of mid-tone sweet ginger ale. But you know what? You freeze that shit and it's great. It's fantastic. Fishing hole. Alright, so we're increasing our chances of beating the rare fish now. They're hunting this fish as well as we are. So here's the hoping that we're either going to get the rare fish we need or the other rare fish. Oh, this is so good. Nerve-wracking but good. So basically, chat, what's going to happen here is we got a situation where we can take and we can have hold on, fix my mic a little bit. We can take and get ourselves well, honestly, a blue fish, 2 green fish, or a purple fish. And the purple fish is worth the most as far as what we want here. The blue fish I'll take because that goes towards the achievement. So basically, if we get a blue fish or a purple fish, we get an achievement. In a perfect world, I'd have both, but you know, dims the brakes, right? Got the hairy coffin fish. Let's see, will it happen? I would pull up the achievement to show you all right now, but it would unfortunately end the fishing action. So basically I'll explain it best I can. Most zones only have 12 fish, right? So this one should have 2 green fish and a blue fish. There's a 13th fish that's hidden in this that gives its own achievement. If you get that 13th fish, you have to fish it out of a fishing hole that's within eyesight of this person over here, basically. So, not super far. We're gonna be fishing the hell out of this thing soon. Give me the fish. Alright, now we got more people fishing for it. Come on. God, the suspense chat, which will it be? Statistically, they have the same chance of dropping. Let's see, will I get the rare fish? That dog is way too happy. Another hairy coffin fish. I'll tell you, one of the funniest things you'll ever hear is literally like, is it a pufferfish eating a carrot? Or whatever. It just sounds like so satisfied to be eating a carrot, like it just needs that shit. It's so great. It's just like, like it's just like so happy to be like gorfing down the piece of carrot. Come on.
He goes to the city for the pickpockets. He enjoys the attention.
Nope, another hairy coffin fish. Damn. Where'd he go? He's going that way. Oh, well, he's going back that way. Nice. So apparently up in the Necron place, you can get lots and lots and lots of double loot boxes for crafting mats. That's pretty cool. I can almost feel it. Eventually, soon, we're gonna get the blue fish. We have so many people fishing here. It's not, how do I put this? It's not much of a chance that you're going to get the blue fish or the purple fish already, right? But what really helps is the fact that you have doubled whatever minuscule chance that is, if not tripled it. So even though it's really, really slim pickings, I mean, like, you could be here for 1 to 3 hours fishing by yourself. Even though it's that kind of slim pickings, you could still say that me being able to catch this in 30 minutes or so would be an absolute baller ass accomplishment. So I'm hoping that that's the case soon. No, just another minnow. We're getting tons of lake bait though. Yeah, that's right. We're like rocking out. Holy shit, I got the octopus. Alright, so we got the achievement for Orsinium fishing. But you know what we don't have the achievement for? The 13th fish. So I'm gonna try to catch the 13th fish here for a few. So the way this works is that it'll have to be sunset, which isn't that long. I don't know if I'm gonna wait another half hour for sunset though. I may just be like, yo, we'll go catch this another time, and then we can take like, I don't know, like half an hour or so and set up for some battle bit. That's what I'm thinking about doing. I haven't played battle bit in a minute, y'all. I kind of miss playing it. I don't know. What do y'all think? Should I go play battle bit? Battle bit Remastered's pretty dope, especially the new patch just came out. After this hole, I'm gonna go back to the pier where the assault started. See if I can fish there. Let's see here. Let's just flip through. I could definitely be back by like, say 5:15 if I do. 5:15, 5:30. So if I do go play battle bit, right? Y'all would have to expect me back around, I don't know, at the latest, a little bit less than an hour from now. Back, I'm gonna fish it. The one that's right, yeah, see the one that's right in front of the fisherman is probably going to be a certified fresh, like the actual answer when it comes to the fish. Like this one here. Would you look at that? It's a white rat, an albino rat. I haven't seen one of those in a minute. Interesting. This is the one where it's like fishing at sunset. The main thing is I don't know if they mean sunset like the sun going down below the horizon. Black scabbard fish. I like how this one is so perfectly tranquil. Wait, got any sack? Oh, it probably won't be the purple one next, but I'm hoping it is. So we're running out of fishing spots in this hole. We're not fishing spots, but you know, fish in general. No, hairy coffin fish. We've got both kind of greens fish, but we've not got the fish we needed yet. All right. Let me see. Anywhere else to get the fish? Nope. Alright, so now I'm gonna port us back to sitting. But that is, for the most part, Orsinium fishing in the bag. And I'm pretty stoked about that. Now, there are a couple things that I need to do before we call it for the day. Like, first off, we need to take a look and see what we have as far as our catch, shore it up, and basically see if we got any perfect roe, which we can sell in the market. Let's go take a look here. We just need to find ourselves a pub. Go to the right and make our way up the hill. I honestly just need to find a cooking fire, if anybody has one. Oh damn it, I fall for this every time. Whoever made it so we couldn't get on rooftops anymore makes me sad.
Strong orc. Maybe I'll head to the redoubt and offer my services.
Alright, the greedy gut. Now then, chat, let's take a look here and see if there's anything worth swiping. Not really. But what there is a fireplace down. Oh, there's one right here too. Cooking fire. So how many fish do we fish today that were not named? 337. Will we get perfect roe? Let's find out. Hey, yo, 3 perfect roe. Hell yeah, that right there is about 200k worth of currency in the game, which is actually pretty decent. That would increase my stuff by quite a bit. Yeah, not bad at all. Hells yeah. Alright, chat. So here's the deal. Boosh. I will be back. No, he's gonna do the damn crate guy. But anyway, my friends, I am gonna call it for about, let me see here. Few minutes.
Daggerfall welcomes you.
10. Oop, shit, wrong button. Ah! There we go. Okay, so I'm going to be calling it for about 30 minutes to an hour. I'll be back by no later than 5:30, right? I'm going to set us up a BattleBit stream. Probably not going to spend too much time on the thumbnail because I don't really have good thumbnails for BattleBit. I have the ones that came with the press kit and a couple of other images that I can use, but they all kind of look the same. So there's that. But other than that, I'll be playing BattleBit for a couple hours today. Definitely consider giving the stream a shot, and consider giving the game a shot, especially because it's crazy how much they care about their game. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, and I don't mean it in like a bad gatekeepy kind of way. I mean it like 3 or 4 people in a basement basically were like, we can build a better game than you can, and we're gonna do it. And that's what they're at, and they're really chill and friendly about it too. But with that, my friends, I hope that you have a great rest of your evening if I don't see you again, and if not, I'll see you in about 45 minutes, eh? Alright. Bye!